take number 5. So here we go. It's almost 9 o'clock at night. Cocktail in hand. Let's get this done, boys and girls. All right. So today we're going to talk just a wee bit about our CRM mobile app. So let's kind of get started. Once you've downloaded the mobile app, the Dynamics 365 for phones, because they couldn't think of any longer name to call it. And if you need help downloading this, just kind of get in touch with me and I'll kind of walk you through it. I will also, after this, send you all out a step-by-step guide, which means you all will have 2 step-by-step guides. So after this point, don't ask me for help. JKLOL. Anyway, let's go ahead and click on our mobile app. So it does default to the My Activities. We're basically in this short video that I'm going to do for y'all is going to be the 2 functions of the mobile app that I think you guys will use the most often. One being the My Activities list. I will also have for you guys a little bit of a step-by-step guide along with pictures, and I'll circle things in red circles that like, hey, click here, then click there, and that sort of thing. So I want you guys to have access to all the information you all might need to make stuff happen. The reason we're going to talk about activities, as you guys will see in the presentation today, is that activities are going to become more and more important to what you guys do on a daily basis, and having the mobile app is going to help facilitate you guys being able to do it with less time on your part, because I do get it that it's a pain in the butt. I don't want you guys to feel like, oh, I couldn't do it while I was out in the field, so I have to go home, and once I'm with my family, I need to do this, right? You guys can do this literally within a matter of a minute of after you guys have met with a customer, or whether it be a phone call or whatever it is. Anyway, thing to note is, like I said, on the bottom little gray kind of pad down there, your home button, your little house, is always going to default to this my activities section, right? So the way that you guys are going to start placing your activities in the system is the 3 dots on the upper right hand corner once you're in the my activities section. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. It gives me a list, and I don't super care if you tell me if you're going to give yourself a task, whether it's an appointment, a phone call. There's this other portion in here that says other activities, and really all that is a sales call. So I don't super care which one you choose. I just chose sales call because that's kind of what y'all are doing most of the day. So I'm not super concerned about what title you guys give it. If you really want to just stick to one, I don't super care, so long as I have a little bit of detail in here. We are not looking for stories. I just kind of want to know in a super general, like, hey, what are you doing? Whether that be sending a quote for 1540. That's cool. If you use it for more detailed information, you are more than welcome to put it in here. It's entirely up to you guys how much information you guys want to put in here. That being said, I don't want it to say nothing, right? I don't want you to put like an asterisk in here because you don't want to say anything about it. So long as I have some sort of detail, whether it be like I quoted, I'm discussing greases with this customer. That way we have that data to make sure that we know which account reps are out there servicing our particular customer base. So let's kind of just run through one. So all I've done in here is you guys will see, as with everything in CRM, everything with a red asterisk is required in order to even save this. So your subject, use your technology to make it simple. I'm going to give this a go. 2 times it has worked and 3 times it has not worked. So I happen to use an Android-based service. You can click this little microphone on the upper right-hand corner of my tab, and I can say, send quote. Doesn't really want to work right now, but that's okay. That's going to be my subject. In here, I can say, be a little more specific if that's what I want. Okay, that's enough data for me to kind of know what you were doing. Yes, you can put more data in here, and that's awesome. The funny thing about CRM, I don't know why, but instead of saying, hey, account or whatever it is that you want to associate a particular activity with, um, they call it regarding. So you click there. You can hit that little search button if you want to look for records. So I happen to know that this is my particular code. So I'm just going to say LACOU because I know that's my code. I will click that. And the only other thing that I will say, we can find out this information, but it's helpful if you put in here your start date. I like to click the calendar, but you can be awesome and type it in yourself. But I'm going to say that today I did that. So I'm going to click on today and I'm done. Nothing else is required. You have a couple options here. You can simply hit save. You can hit mark as complete, or these three little dots will say like save and close. Like, hey, not only did I start this task or activity that I did throughout the day, but I started it and finished it today. I don't. I'm gonna leave it all up to you all because some of y'all like to keep this stuff open on a running tab, and some of you like to close it out. I realize that there's different preferences, so I'm gonna kind of leave it up to you. For this instance, I'm just gonna hit save, and I am now done with that thing. All I'll say is that it's like, hey, this is one of the things I did today. So now it's in the system. I'm good to go. I'm gonna hit my home button again, and you guys will be able to see as I scroll down through here. It's going to be one of the last things that I did. Los Alamos Public Schools, send quote for 15W 300 gallons, whatever it is, right? So the information is in the system, and there's a way for not only myself to track it, but those in management to track that information. So this is super valuable. We want to make sure that those of you who are out there actively working on things, that you guys will always have the opportunity to continue to work with that potential customer so long as you guys are actively doing something with that customer. That being said, you guys will realize that this is particularly important in markets that there's a lot of competition. We want to make sure that at the end of the day, we're all about growth. So if you're not putting data in here and some other sales reps wants to go after a particular customer and you don't have any information in here in your activities, then I don't even know you're working on it. So that's why it's important to keep this up to date. It makes sure that we maintain within our sales rep pool who has the ability to kind of continue working with a particular customer, right? If you've not touched them in 6 months, and I'm like, well in my mind, um, it's a dead thing, right? So that's why activities are going to continue to be important. We want to make sure that things are going to progress forward, and if they're not going to progress forward, and another sales rep has the opportunity because of a bunch of different circumstances, we're not going to go into that right now, then if no one's actively working on it, then absolutely, if they can close the deal, let's get it done. So just keep that in mind. The other thing I want to talk about within this system is down on the bottom, I guess kind of center left-hand side, you guys will see these three lines, I guess, right? What this kind of is I guess they call this the module. Well, on the bottom kind of darker gray, you guys will see it says workplace, sales, services. You guys can kind of use that to scroll. So that's going to be all the modules that are within CRM. So I'm going to kind of go from workplace and to sales. So I'm going to click on sales, and I want to look at my accounts. So it's always going to default to your personal accounts. One of the things that I see your guys' ability to utilize the system is going to be your account history. So I don't know, you can click this ABC. Why not? I'm going to click L because I happen to know this is one of the few customers that's still under my name. Let's do Los Alamos County for funsies. And I kind of what you guys need to realize about this mobile app is that it is not as robust as the web application. So this is here to help you, and I encourage you guys to utilize it. The more often you guys utilize it and play around with it, the better you guys will get at it. But the only other thing that I think you guys will use on a more active basis is right before you go into your customer, their existing customers. Why not take a look at what they're currently purchasing from you? Easiest way to do that is, so I've kind of dived down into this customer account, and right next to where it says account, there's another three dots. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And it says active order history. So this is typical of what you guys would see in the account if you guys were using your PC to access this data. From first looks, you're kind of like, well, it doesn't give me a whole lot. All you have to realize is kind of scroll to the right, and it's going to give you the data that is pertinent to what you guys need to know, right? So let's say you're like, I thought they're buying everything from me because they've been buying everything from me for a long time. Well, you might want to take a quick look, and who knows, right? Like, for all I know, they stopped buying heavy duty motor oil from you. Well, this gives you a quick glance to make sure that you are capitalizing on the most value you guys can get from a particular customer that we already have, because we all know that that's kind of, it's low hanging fruit. They're already a customer. They're already buying. Let's make sure that they're buying everything possible, and let's make sure that they continue to buy that, right? Because sometimes we don't always realize if they've switched one particular product away from us. So those are the two things and the two functions that I think you guys will use most often. Again, I'll show you in a sec. There are videos that go into more detail about some of the functionality of the mobile app, and you guys can watch those and please utilize them. But this is what I think you guys will use most often. So that's all I got for you. As always, reach out to me if you guys need individual help making sure that all this stuff works. And otherwise, happy times. Let's get it done.